Maybe to kick things off here, Dr. Pell, let's talk about biblical justice as a concept. So, do you have a definition for how you think of biblical justice or how you define biblical justice?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's tricky because I think of biblical justice as being located in the narrative as opposed to a definition. And I think that's one of the distinctions, perhaps, between how the world thinks about justice and how Christians think about justice and biblical justice is that biblical justice is rooted in the character of God and in the narrative of his mission in the world. And so that's a bit different than perhaps the world thinks about it in more abstract concepts. And so I don't know that I have a succinct definition. I do have characteristics, however, though, that come out of the biblical narrative that I think define, so to speak, or describe what biblical justice is. So I can kind of go through those, but yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I don't necessarily resist a definition, but I think it's more difficult to think about biblical justice as a definition because it's narrative, located in character and story.
Yeah. So, then maybe let's think about some of those characteristics. What are some of the first ones that come to mind?
Yeah. Well, I think it comes out of what we understand in Genesis 1 and 2. I think biblical justice is tied into the concept of flourishing. We look at what is happening in the garden in those first couple chapters of Genesis, and what we see is an abundance, a flourishing. Humankind has whatever they need to not just kind of subsist, but to flourish. And so, whatever is needed for that is there. There's relationship, there's provision, there's work, there's rest. I think we can kind of go through lots of things that we see in the garden. So it starts there in my mind, and we get a sense of it being located in flourishing, and that if there is a lack of justice, meaning some people flourish and other people don't flourish, then there is no kind of holistic flourishing. And so I think justice is embedded in some of the bigger concepts in scripture of flourishing. I also think another characteristic that we see coming out of the Exodus story is that it is a liberation and a freedom from all that oppresses in every realm of life, whether that's physical, spiritual, certainly emotional, psychological, economic, that any of those things that contribute to a lack of flourishing, that justice is making those things right and is a deliverance from those things and being brought into a place of rightness. So shalom obviously is one way that we try to get at a definition of justice, and flourishing is the wholeness that is embedded in that understanding of the Hebrew word shalom. So those are some kind of characteristics. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I can keep going, but I'll let you ask some more questions.